Good afternoon, everyone. So today, in the last class, we completed. I taught you the diary entry, and we also did the FIR last to last class. So this class, we will covering book review, and I will teach you how to write a book review. Review is uh, Book review is a topic that comes for your exams every year, and it is an important topic. So today, I will be teaching you how to write a book review. सर आप म्यूट कर सकते हैं प्लीज थैंक यू okay so now we will be covering book review class. So how I have decided to teach you book is we will start with what is a book review, then we will go on to um, we'll go on to the secondary reading that you have for your book review, so that the secondary reading that you have for your book review, and then see what they mean by how you are supposed to write a book review. So let us start from the basics about what is a book review or what is a review. So you have all been using a lot of online products. So you probably have been buying makeup, you buy things from Amazon, you buy things from uh, Big Basket, like everywhere. You have been doing a lot of online shopping, right? Uh, One of the most common things that we keep saying is before we buy a product, we always suggest or we say, uh, let's look at the review. What are people saying about it? So, say you want to buy a new makeup, or say you want to purchase a new uh, anything, you want to purchase new shoes, you want to purchase a new phone for that matter, and you go on Amazon, and one of the first things that you do is you look at the review. So what does the review say? The reviews usually say whether the product is good, whether the product is bad, whether you should invest your money in the product or not. Some people write more detailed reviews about what is good about it, what is bad about it, what can be improved, what is the best feature. So when we read these small reviews on the websites, we know we can form an informed opinion about whether we should be purchasing on this particular product or not. So this is how the process of reviewing works, which means that one person who has invested in this product or one person who has spent time on this product gives you an opinion about it, so that you as a customer, like as a fellow customer, can build your own opinion and then decide whether you want to purchase this product or not. Similarly, when we talk about book reviews or film reviews, when you say have a book, when a writer writes a book, the writer knows what the book is about, say the editor knows what the book is about, and the people who have helped in the publishing process of the book is aware of what this book is about. But nobody else knows about it. So when a book comes to the market, or say when a film releases, how do we decide whether we want to watch this film or not? How do we decide whether we want to read this book or not? You usually have reviewers who tell you about it, who publicize it, who market it, who write detailed information about the book, so that you can decide whether you want to invest your time on this book, whether you want to purchase this book, whether this book will be helpful to you or not. Now, you in this course, you have been given the job of the reviewer. So you have to review a particular book for your exam. Now, obviously, it will depend on the question what book you're supposed to review. We will discuss that later. But for now, we are going to start. This is what reviewing is. That you give the detailed analysis, a detailed review about what is good about the book, what is bad about the book, and you write it for your readers, for your viewers, or whatever. Because nowadays, even you have bookstagram accounts on Instagram, right? Where like book Instagrammers or book bloggers or people from the reading community, they suggest books to their viewers and followers. Similarly, on YouTube, you have YouTubers giving you book reviews. So the purpose is that you become a reviewer and you suggest the book. You either suggest or you don't suggest, whatever your opinion, you put it out there so that people can read your review and decide for themselves. Now, this is what the basic premise or the basic introduction of a review is. Now, let us see what is the purpose of uh, what is like the purpose of writing, or like for you, what is the purpose of writing the review? For you, the purpose of writing the review is to make you for you to be able to obviously take up any topic and to be to be able to write on it. That is what this course enables you to do. So book reviews are an essential part of, say, newspapers, magazines, online blogs, online websites. We all know it. Every time there's a new release, every time there is something that's on the market and everybody is wondering about it, you need reviewers to tell you whether you should invest in this particular thing or not. Reviewers have a very big influence. Reviewers are the people who, at the end of the day, enable you, uh, they hold a lot of power in swaying the market, in influencing the decision of the market and influencing the decision of the people who might who might invest in this particular product. So reviewers should definitely be honest, should definitely be true to what they are saying, should definitely spend time with it, and then only form an opinion that might influence so many other people. Because the reviewers comments and the reviewer's opinion at the end of the day will affect even the person who has written the book, right? So you have to play a very important role while writing a review. You have to keep in mind that if you are being a careless person, if you are not being as attentive or good at the job that you are doing, it will affect someone else. It has direct consequences for someone else. The writer of the book, the editor of the book, people who are actually going to earn money from the book. So you have to be very careful. Now, like I said, the reason why you are being taught this is because reviewing at the end of the day is a very, very important is a very important function, like a very important job and a very common one. Every product needs to be reviewed, which is why I'm sure you guys follow a lot of Instagrammers, a lot of bloggers, and you see these fashion and beauty bloggers. They keep getting something called PR, right? They get PR packages. Why do you think they get PR packages? So that they can review those products and influence people to either buy these products or to reject these products. But obviously, the PR companies hope that the reviewers give good reviews so that their followers buy these products, and it ultimately helps the company. So similarly, book bloggers on Instagram do the same thing. They suggest books. They probably read books before even they are out on the market. So say they get to read manuscripts, they get to see the development of the book, they get to see the early stages of the book. And then when the book finally hits the market, they read the book and then they suggest their readers whether they should spend time reading this book, whether they should spend money reading this book, etc., etc. Hence, influencing the uh, fame of the writer, the income of the writer, the uh, like they definitely influence whether the writer gets their recognition from that book or not. So you can see that reviewing is definitely a very important job, which is why you are being taught how to write a review, and in your case, particularly a book review and a film review. Today, however, we are going to discuss a book review. So before we get into the details of what a book review is, I would just like to ask a very normal common question. How many of you read books? Let me know in the chat box. None of you? What is the last book you read, Lavanya? It could be anything. I just want to know what is the last book that you read? What about the others? Don't you read any books besides your besides the books for your syllabus and your exams? Okay, that's nice. Okay, so I'm really glad that Lavanya reads books, and reading books is a very good habit to develop. But anyway, uh, let us get into the specifics of reviewing books right now. So, what exactly is expected out of a book review? So, book reviews, firstly, like I said, every review allows you to present your own opinion. So, it gives you a space where, say, you have read a book and then you form an opinion of your own. Not just likes and dislikes, but there's more opinion. Like, you don't, or something does not always have to be I like it or I don't like it. There could be parts you like, there could be parts you don't like. So the first important thing about being a reviewer is to form your own, is to have the capacity to form your own opinion. As you will see, or as you might have already noticed, so far everything that we have covered, we have tried to understand narratives, we have tried to understand prose, we have tried to understand comics, we have tried to understand poems. Why have we done this? Basically, we have done this to build up to something like this. As a reviewer, you should know the difference between all of this. You should know how to differently read all of this. Only then can you give you can give an analysis, and you can give your own uh, detailed and honest opinion, right? You can only be sincere to this if you have spent time in understanding what are the differences, what are the similarities, how should I read one thing. Say, for example, if you did not know how to read a poem, now you know because we have done it in class. But in case, for like, just imagine if you did not know how to read a poem and you had to review a poem like The Lost Word, you would probably not like it because you would just be like, how can a word be lost? That was the most common question. How can a word be lost? But now, because you know how to read a poem, you know that the word was a metaphor. The word itself stood for something else. And you know this because you know how to read a poem. So the point of being one of the points of being a reviewer is to know the difference between all of this and to be able to apply it and then form your opinion about the particular book that you're reading. So you form your opinion about the book that you're reading. You critically look at it, like you look at the themes, you look at the underlying meaning, you look at how it is written, whether it is a easy read, whether it is very difficult for someone to understand. So you see all of these, and then you finally try to judge the book maybe in comparison to other books that are coming out at this time, or whether this book is relevant at all or not. Like, whether this book whether it is important to have such a book right now, whether you feel like this topic has been discussed too many times and this author could have just ignored this topic now. So you can have you can have multiple opinion. Everyone can have a different opinion about this particular book, but you have to do it on your own, and it has to be your own personal, uh, like your own personal understanding, and then you're supposed to understand it against the larger context. So obviously, just because one person is saying कि ये book अच्छा है does not mean ये book अच्छा है. You might not like it, and you should be able to give your reasons why you don't like it, and you should be able to say why you don't think the book is relevant. So you have to form an informed opinion about the book, which is why you have to spend time with the book. So this is one of the first things of being a reviewer, to be able to form your own opinion. So this is why, like, this is why you need a reviewer, and this is how you can be a reviewer. Now let us look at the format that you have to follow for writing a book review. So a book review, like all your essays and other things, definitely follows a very simple format, which is uh, having an introduction, body, and conclusion. All your essays and paragraphs, everything that you have written in your life, usually it follows this simple format only. Now, what you have to see is, or what we are going to discuss is, how these things are a little different in the book review, or what is it that you're supposed to mention in the introduction, what is it that you're supposed to mention in the body, and what is it you're supposed to mention in the conclusion. So before we get there, let us just look at what's written in your book. So today I decided to not start with the secondary reading itself, and to start a little differently, which is first to discuss what is a book review, and then to see what book is suggested to you and how you can get there. So first we are going to start with, like, what's written in your book about how to write a review. So here in page number 78, leave the first part, like, based on your reading of Priya Shakti. We still haven't read Priya Shakti, so we will be reading Priya Shakti. Maybe we'll start at the end of this class and continue to the next class. But for now, just look at this part. The points given below is to help you write a book review. So these are the main points that you are asked to, like, you are being asked to follow. Introduce the book with a line that will generate the reader's interest in it. So what it says is that usually when you read something, like Lavanya is reading the book by Sadhguru, there might be a single line that you have read and it might have had a very big impact on you, or it might have influenced you in a particular way. So what you can do is that, and you think that this is going to impact and influence a lot of other people. It will help a lot of other people, and it is one of the highlights of the book. There are, when we watch films, for example, there could be a particular scene that stands out. Like, I don't know how many of you have watched, say, Spider-Man No Way Home, but if you remember, when when there's this whole scene of say the Tom Holland Spider-Man hugging Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, it is like something that you're going to remember. So, some very good scene, or say some scene from a Hindi movie. Say, if I don't know, you guys are way younger than I am, but I'm sure most of you have watched Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, I guess. So the whole Jaya Bachchan running down the stairs, that is an iconic scene that everyone remembers, right? So it's one of those things that you might think that it will catch someone's attention, it will catch someone's uh, will make someone be interested in it. Even this happens in case of songs. Like, say any famous song that you probably like, uh, there might be a particular line in the lyrics that actually stands out to you. Like, you keep hearing that song because of that particular line. So similarly, when you're writing a book review, if there is something that has had a very deep impact on you, it is always a good idea that you share that line with your readers. Say you before you start the review, you write this in quotation, and that might get the readers interested in reading that book because it's such a beautiful line or it's such a true line and it resonates with you and it does something to you. So this is the main idea of why they have suggested that you should start with a line that will make the readers interested. Then what you are supposed to do is provide information about the author, the publishing details, and also mention if it is an independent book or part of a series. So these are now the logistical and technical information that you're supposed to provide. So you're supposed to talk about the author. So remember, you are just the reviewer, right? You are reviewing someone else's product, something someone else has made. So you will give information about the author, like say if Lavanya is to write a review on the book she is reading, she will mention that the author is Sadhguru, and she will write about, and then she's expected to write about the publication details. So when was it published, who published it, and also she will say that this is an independent book. Suppose she was writing, or suppose you were writing, say, a review of, say, Harry Potter, then obviously you have to mention which Harry Potter book you're writing a review of. There are so many, right? So you are not going to, unless you're writing a review for the whole series, which usually people don't do, because the whole point is a review is usually written when you are trying to uh, tell people whether they should read it or not. Like, of course, you can write a review for the whole series, but usually it's done for single books. So in that case, you will mention which Harry Potter book, and you will say that it is part of like a 7-book series. So that is, you're supposed to give the technical details surrounding this particular book that you are uh, reviewing. Then you will discuss the the technological tools the author has used, and the additional information about why the book is different and what interested you. But again, I think this particular point is very relevant to this text, Priya Shakti, which we will discuss. But in general, what I would say about this point is that you are supposed to talk about what interested you in this book, or say how is this book different from the other books that you have read, or what are the highlights of this book. You're supposed to bring that out for the people reading your review. And then you should obviously give the background of the story, and you should write about why the author, like you have to do your own research, that why the author wrote this story, like a little bit about the background. Give them a little bit about the summary of the book that you have read, so that people can know whether they're interested in the story at all or not. Then you will obviously analyze that a little bit. You will talk about the theme of the book. You will talk about what worked for you in this book and what didn't. So you will have to give explanation for everything that you write in that review. And in the end, obviously, you will give your suggestions whether you recommend this book or not. If you do, why you recommend it. If you don't, why don't you recommend it. So this is how you will finish the full review. Now this is the basic that's given in your book. This, now we will discuss this format only, part by part. So let us start with the introduction. So like I said, it will have an introduction, body and conclusion. Okay, so I'm just going to 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. I'm trying to do. Okay, just 1 minute. Uh, Let me know if it's visible. I wait. Oh no, it's not. Wait, I haven't shared it yet. Okay, let me know if my screen is visible. Okay, so I am definitely taking external help. Like this is in no way my thing, but I think this will help you, which is why I thought of sharing this outline with you. Yeah, see, Lavanya has actually found a line that resonates with her, and if you write a review on this book, you can definitely use this line. So, okay. Uh, I think you can see my screen. So, like I said, the book review format will include an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So you can see that. So now what will the introduction have? Say you start, so like your book suggests, so you quotation from, and then you start say with the introduction. Now what will be there in your introduction? In your introduction, you will describe the book cover and the title. So you don't have to do it in details. You can just talk about what caught your attention. Or if the book cover is a very simple cover, then just talk about probably the title. We discussed, if you remember, we discussed how important the title is when we were reading a poem. So the title is always important. We discussed that in comprehension, how sometimes you're given the question, what can be the title of this passage? So the title of something is always very important, and you can write a little bit about that. Including any subtitle is not something that you have to do. This is an optional thing. You have to write the author's name, publication. Once you're done with this introduction, then you'll go on to the thesis. Now, what is the thesis means you will give a brief description of the novel. You will give a brief summary of the novel. You will write the main points of the body in your book review. So you will write what the book mainly covers, what the book is on. You will cover the themes, and you will not, this portion should not have your opinion. It's not about your opinion. It is more about the facts that exist in the book itself. So you're trying to give out facts to the people reading this review, that this is what the novel is about, this is the summary, this is the main themes that this book tries to cover, and you're just going to give what is factually already there in the book out. You're going to put that out there. So say, how can I say this? Say you bought a phone and you're writing a review on Amazon. So before you talk about whether the phone is a good phone or a bad phone or whatever you think about the phone, you first say that this is a black phone, which has this screen size, which which has this much, this is the RAM, this is the ROM. You give the factual details, the specifics of what the phone is. Then once you have stated this, then you go down to the actual body, which means the actual content of the essay. So here they have suggested use 3 quotations from the author's novel. This is not compulsory. Again, you just use what resonates with you. So I would definitely change. resonates with you, what has stuck with you, what has helped you, or what, why are you writing this review? Like, what is it from the book that you want to give to the readers? Why would you want the readers to read it? So you will just write what resonates with you. Uh, Summarize that in your own words. Mention the point of view of the book. Not so it's not quotation based. So mention your point of view about the book, and every point should be your own opinion, which is what I was emphasizing in the beginning of the class. That you should, this part of the review should have your own personal opinion. Like I said, when you start with the factual details. You first start with the specifics, then you start with what is already there in the book. Then you come to the point where you present your own opinion. And finally, you conclude, you write your conclusion, you summarize the quotations, you summarize what you're trying to explain, you use your own opinion and your final verdict on the book, that whether you would recommend someone to read this book or not. There's a star rating option, as you could have seen in a lot of newspapers and websites. You usually there's like 4 stars, 3.5 stars, 4.5 stars. So this is optional, depends on whether you have to give it or not. But your final verdict in your review is very important, which means whether you recommend people to read the book. If you recommend people to read the book, why do you recommend them to read the book? If you tell them not to read the book, why do you tell them not to read the book? So this is the basic format of your book review. Uh, that is your basic format of how to uh, write a book review. Now, some of the suggestions that you can take in writing a book review is that you should plan what you want to write from the beginning, which means you should read the book very, very thoroughly. Like maybe read it more than once, maybe know exactly what you're talking about, do some background research on the book, like on the author, on why the author has written this particular book, on the inspiration, to understand where this book is coming from. Because I said, remember, your position as a reviewer is extremely important, because you influence others' decision, right? So when you are influencing others' decision, you should come from a place ki mujhe pata hai. Just एक, if you read just one thing, then you cannot be a trusted source. So to be a trusted source, you have to spend your own time in understanding whether this is a worth it thing or not. So you have to spend time on this particular book. You have to invest in this particular uh, work that you are doing, and only then can you suggest it to others or not. Because like I said, I've constantly been talking about online websites because it's so common these days and we all use it. Like in Amazon, when you buy a phone or when you buy anything, you usually look for reviewers who has used, like who have used the products a few times. That you'll see some people come back after 2 months and again review, like I've been using this product for 2 months and this is the review of this product. And you will see, I don't know if you guys know about this, but I guess you will. uh, Say, I remember at one point Zomato used to give you points, and Zomato used to give you bonus and I think offers for writing reviews, because like when you wrote some reviews on restaurants and etc etc. Why did they do this? Because when you share your experience, when you share your opinion after trying and testing it out, then the people also believe you more. Similarly, when you're writing a book review and you have spent time with the book, you have just not read the book but have also done like background research on it, have spent time in understanding where the book is coming from, have compared it to other books, The more time that you spend on it, the better and more refined your review is likely to be, and the more honest and informed uh, it will be for the readers who read it. So this is the best tip that you can take for a book review. So let us see the question that is there in. Uh, Let us see one of the questions that is there in your paper that usually comes, that has come in 1 year for a book review. Uh, it's a very simple question that came, which was write a review of a book you have recently read. So it's a very simple thing. You just, any book, like Lavanya is reading this book, she can write a review on that. So it's a very simple thing, as you can see. Yeah, I guess you guys should all try to write a book review on a book that you have read or you're enjoying reading. It's just to see how you can write this, whether you have your, it is also to put you guys in the habit of reading, but whether you guys have your whether you can analyze, whether you can differentiate, whether you can look beneath the surface meaning. So all, this is the reason why they give you such an exercise. So this is what I had to cover for today's class. And the other thing that I planned for you is, I don't know how many people are watching. If you're not, then I don't know. But the few people who are in class, I wanted to do a little grammar. So this is a small grammar passage that, 1 minute, I'll share it. So if you can see, this is how grammar usually comes in your exam. This is from one of the question papers. Here it says rewrite the given passage. Here, this is what I'm reading out. Yes. Here. Rewrite the given passage after editing and proofreading it for punctuation, spelling, and grammar. So there are 10 mistakes that are there. What I would like you to do it, at least find me 5 of them right now. This is the passage. It's just 3 lines. Find me at least 5 mistakes right now and tell. Like I said, this is a paper which has to be interactive. Just me giving lectures will not help if you guys are not participating. So I know that because of online classes, it's hard for you to participate. But this is a very small exercise. I am sharing the screen. Just do it. I'll give you 5 minutes. Find at least 5 mistakes. I'm not sure whether any of you are doing it or not, but it's very simple. Just point out 5 errors that you can see in the passage. It's in your book. It's the highlighted one. Others do 5, not just one. Others, you don't have to change the sentence. Don't change the sentence. Quickened, like, don't change. You're supposed to proofread it. Quickened is a word. Quickened is not wrong. He quick his pace is not going to work. No, he quickened is right. Why would walk towards the crowd not be there, Lavanya? Whatever is there. You don't have to eliminate anything. Read the question. They said that proofread for punctuation, spelling, and grammar, which means you're supposed to look for punctuation, you're supposed to correct spelling, and you're supposed to correct the grammar. So you're not supposed to edit out anything. Like, you're not supposed to delete anything. Walk towards the crowd is there. Now tell me if there is a mistake here. Walk towards how and what is the mistake? No, no, it's okay. I just corrected your mistake. You don't have to tell me sorry. Just do it the way the instruction is given. Okay, what you can do is you can take a screenshot of this if you want. I'm sharing it again if you guys can't see it. And I want you to solve this. Here, take a screenshot of this if you want. Do question number 8. I want you to solve this and give me the answers on the WhatsApp group. I want you to do that. Because I can see you guys are not doing it in class. Lavanya, if you're there on the WhatsApp group, can you just send this to me there? I will reply to you in private. Because others have not solved it yet, so I don't want to reply here. Try it, others. I'll help you. First you try, you give me the wrong one, I will help you. Okay, I'll share this exercise on the WhatsApp group itself and I'll ask people to do it. And Lavanya, I will reply to you in public. I'm sorry, in private. I will not give out the answers right now because others will do it. Anyway, this is a small exercise that I wanted you all to do. On Sunday, we will start with the reading that is there, and I will teach you. I have to teach you film review, and I have to teach you RTI. So we still have classes to discuss everything. Don't worry about that. Anyway, if anybody has any questions, you can quickly ask. Anybody has any questions? Okay, then see you all on Sunday. Good afternoon, everyone. Have a good evening.
ओके मैम कर दो मैम
Uh-huh.
ठीक है ओके मैम